It is, of course, Pakistan getting the job done in Kolkata and, of course, consigning Bangladesh to their sixth defeat in a row in this year's World Cup. My name is Avni Shaikh. You're watching the match review on cricket.com with Gurkirat and Nikhil Popat. Nikhil and Gurkirat was spot on in their predictions, X factors, everything. I honestly don't know why thousands and thousands of people don't watch us, but look, that's a story for another day. Nikhil, 7-wicket win for Pakistan, and they brought out their A game, man, all of a sudden to just keep their hopes alive. Too little, too late.
Well, they'll hope not. They're playing some tough sides from here on. If they're able to continue the good run, then nothing like it. So just makes the last few games even more interesting, and just everything clicked. Shine Afridi set it up well. Discussed about new ball wickets. Bangladesh helped, but they've been helping every team that they've been playing. So good on them on that. And Osama Mir, you probably felt okay. The one place they wanted more, but Wasim stepped in nicely and good used reverse swing to take quick wickets. So I think very clinical job done with the bat. That one six that Fakhar Zaman hit reminded of many PSL knocks that he's played on proper roads. But again, good knock for him also. They ran very mischievously, I felt, almost wanting to run the other out. But all's well that end well, and they'll be buoyed with this performance.
Indeed. Gurkirat, before I get your thoughts, let's just, of course, reflect the match summary for those who missed the contest out there tonight. And Bangladesh, 204, really, really scratchy, especially when they were 102 for 3. You were thinking about perhaps 250, 260, but that soft dismissal of Rittendas, he went for 45. Mehbudullah eventually top scoring again. And then in response, Pakistan pretty clinical in their chase, pretty much thanks to Fakhar Zaman. He was smoking it for fun out there. That one shot he hit of who was a Tuscan, which went for a 95-meter six, was quite brilliant. But then, as you can see, nothing to write home for Bangladesh in this one. Right, Gurkirat, what did you make of it then? Because Pakistan, I know that many people thinking they're favorites and they should get the job done. They have, of course, had banana skins in these kind of fixtures before. So for them to get the 2 points, we can praise them tonight. And should we praise them tonight?
I mean, I don't think, like I said, I did not think even Pakistan, even in this shape, will struggle to get those 2 points. It's just that what Pakistan can take home from this is that, okay, a few boxes have been ticked in the sense Wasim Jr. got a few wickets today. You had Haris Rauf getting a couple, one of them in the power play, and then Shaheen finally getting wickets with the new ball, which has not happened. So they'd be happy that how even Iftikhar chipped in. I mean, that Iftikhar doing well is both a good and a bad thing for Pakistan, because it's a good thing because you get another bowling option, but it's a bad thing because he's turned out to be the best of the four spinners that they have. So it's, I don't know how you want to take it, but it is now. I was just looking at the number of overs he's bowled. He's bowled 33 overs so far in this tournament. So and he's done a decent job. He was economical even in that fixture in Bangalore. So they'd be happy with a couple of things, but I don't think they should be overjoyed or something, because they still have two more fixtures to play and they will have to win them by a decent enough margin and hope for a few other results to go their way. uh, yeah, as far as Bangladesh is concerned, I really don't know what to talk about them, because uh, it's just a, I really want, in every Bangladesh game I'd want that, so some one paragraph or the other from that Sumesh article to be just displayed for the viewers to be read, because there's nothing new that you can talk about them today. Litton started well, and I thought it was a good batting pitch. He got a start, then he got, he had a soft dismissal to Iftikhar. Then you felt Mohammedullah was batting well. He got out at the wrong time, and Shakib, who was struggling initially, couldn't really find those singles or rotate strike, but he got 3/4 of that Iftikhar over, and after that he was out to Harisov, and the innings just collapsed. So 200 was never going to be enough on this pitch. This is probably a pitch where 280 to 300 would have been something that you needed at the bare minimum. as you can see, Pakistan chased it with almost 100 balls to spare. So the, Bangladesh were never in the game.
Pakistan chased it with some attitude, and that man was, of course, the best performer according to us. Let's talk about Fakhar Zaman in the next segment, which is called Top Performer. I think it was Ravi Shastri bickering with Bakar Yunus in the commentary box about why they should play Fakhar Zaman every kind of time because he's a Gale in that way. The fact that he has the ability to take the game, we saw that in the Champions Trophy 2017, and he's done it again, Nikhil. I mean, what do you like about Fakhar Zaman today? Because he was going for that 100, and I feel before he got out, right, I think there were two singles on, maybe a cheeky single out at backward point, and his partner refused him. And then I think it was a rush of blood which got up to him. But nevertheless, good day for Fakhar Zaman today.
Yeah, I mean, good day for him. And I think we discussed about Fakhar Zaman in the previous well, that there are phases where he looks absolutely unbeatable in terms of you can bowl whatever to him and he'll put you away. And today he just showed enough application to not give away his wicket, and which is something you often see from a guy looking to make a comeback. So well done to him. Got himself in. That task in six, I think, we'll remember for some time. But that's what you come to expect of him. And him pairing with Abdullah is something that's worked in PSL as well. So they'll hope that this partnership starts to blossom. But we've been there before, and it was it. I personally think top performer is thoda biased with the batting. Also in the sting, also it's the batter, but the game was set up by the bowling of Wasim and Shaheen. So he had, of course, he had to play well, but the game was set up by the bowlers. So good knock for Fakhar. They'll need this kind of batting against England and New Zealand. So more of it needed because they'll also have to beat them well. So let's see how this translates into more consistent performances from Fakhar.
Yeah, I mean, Gukia, talk to me about Fakhar Zaman in terms of this wagon wheel here. You take a look at what he did there, and it was destructive. Sometimes I felt like that mid wicket range is his best friend, and he just keeps going there. What else did you like about his power hitting display tonight?
So if you see the wagon wheel, he's mostly scored runs in the areas that he usually scores. I mean, his bat swing is such, sometimes it feels like he's using a hammer instead of a bat. So good signs for Pakistan. I do think that they were not wrong in dropping him because he was really having a very torrid run coming into the World Cup. So it wasn't really a bad decision to drop him. But yes, hopefully him coming back into form will allow them to probably chase those higher targets with a little more impetus in the power play. I mean, we spoke about how in that game versus Australia they could have targeted to score maybe 15 runs more in the power play. Maybe with Fakhar being there it can happen. But um, see, we'll have to take this innings with a pinch of salt because this is not the best bowling attack which is which is on display. Good batting conditions, so you'll have to take these things into account as well before start thinking, okay, maybe can he help in that turnaround. He might, he may not, but just one innings isn't enough. But having said that, it's still better than nothing. You'll still take this because had he failed today, then you would have been like, okay, we dropped him, we replaced him with Abdullah Shafiq. Abdullah Shafiq was scoring runs, so now we replaced him with Imam, but he's still not scored runs again. So that cycle is at least avoided.
It's musical chairs, honestly. Imam, Fakhar, and Abdullah Shafiq. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the next two games because New Zealand at Bangalore, I think we'll be doing fan camps for that. And then they finish up at Kolkata, England, I think, play them there. And they get a week's break before that game. We'll talk about other things and whatnot. But, Nix, I really want to ask you the turning point because it is part of the show and it is a segment which is hitting your screens right now. Turning point was just the toss. What was it, gentlemen? Because did we see this result coming? I felt the resurrection that Bangladesh kind of had from 3 for 23 to going 102 for 3. If that partnership blossomed, and then you have the kind of 5, 6, 7 that Bangladesh have, I was actually hoping that Bangladesh could pull it off. But the turning point you feel was Litton Das, gentlemen. Nikhil, you first.
Yeah, if the Chacha getting Little Das out of nowhere, uh, and it wasn't as if like you saw that coming at any point of time. And they were starting to look good. Both were batting at a decent clip, and they were getting the boundaries in as well. So yeah, that was the only point at which you felt that Bangladesh could make a game out of this one, despite losing those three early. So it just tells you why. And again, lessons for England. There is time. Just give yourself time. You can come back in the game. The game gives you enough chances, but you just have to take it. So I don't think they took that, and I really feel for Shakib uh, in terms of the batter, more so the more not to the captain, because he doesn't look himself, which is very very. Uh, I mean, from the last World Cup that you've seen him, and to this one, in the last some time you have seen his batting come down, but he really looks a very different batter. He's not the usual Shakib that you see. Sometimes you associate, okay, he's going far too early, but you look at that grouping of dismissals, average of 8 against pace. That's not the Shakib that scored over 600 runs in the 2019 World Cup. Uh, Definitely a lot of things to worry there for him as a batter and also as a side, but hopefully better things lined up, better planning also.
I was just gonna ask Gurkirat as well. We made the comparison. They made it in the commentary box as well. How Shakib was so supreme in that 2019 tournament, and it was the time that he was allowing himself to play those, especially the shots behind the wicket. Any other chink in the armor that you saw in the Shakib this time around? Because he's been in an awful run of form, Gurkirat.
I feel maybe it's the injury that has also played has had some part to play in it, because it's he's just not looked himself. I mean, you can talk about a chink in the armor if you feel that at least the batter is otherwise having a smooth run. Today he was getting stuck versus spin also. So he just looks, maybe, I don't know, I usually don't make these statements or comparisons, but it feels like mentally he's not there, or he's just caught up with something else while he's batting. His mind is somewhere else, because he's he you know even when he's had bad run of form somewhere in between, he's looked far more fluent. He's just not looked fluent. He's just not looked as someone who could rotate strike, because as a middle order batter, especially when he's played so many matches in Bangladesh on those slow and low pitches, he's still been able to rotate strike decently. His
But
strike
what
rotation.
happened? What happened today then? Because then, if you look at the innings progression today in particular, why did they get stuck? You feel?
Difficult to really say, because I did not think that the pitch was a difficult, the pitch was definitely better than the one that was there in the Netherlands Bangladesh game, where there was more turn and more grip. You felt this pitch was okay because Litton was scoring runs comfortably in that partnership that happened between Litton and Mohammedullah. That partnership was 79 runs in 89 balls. That is a good rate of partnership when you've lost some 3 wickets for 20 odd runs. They were
Yeah.
22 for 3. So I don't know. I mean, Shakib Rally in that partnership with Mohammedullah was 13 runs in 34 balls. So maybe he was too afraid of getting out and wanted to bat long, so probably got into a shell. Really very difficult to point out that why he's having such a poor run. Yes, you can understand there is that one weakness, but if you look at his past batting performances, he's not been that bad versus short bowling either. He's been very selective. He's been someone who's played those cuts over point and behind square reasonably well. He's had a fairly long career. If he had this chink in the armor against the short ball, it would have been exposed far earlier. I just think it's maybe a case of bad shot selection or not being clear of what he wants to do, because yeah, this is not the Shakib we know, and it's really difficult to point out what is really troubling him. I mean, I've been trying, but really can't put a finger on one thing.
Hmm. Let's of course reflect a couple of other things for you guys, because at the end of the day, the comments have been coming through. Santa De Cruz saying, so Captain Babar wins the race. Bangladesh is frustrating. Unknown going to say, Bangladesh don't deserve to play the World Cup. Look at their captain, his body language awful, and they came to bowl in the 16th over. So obviously, people are not
Again, I
holding
feel,
back.
him coming late into the bowling is again probably got to do something with his injury. It just feels that way because he did not bowl enough even in that South Africa game.
Hmm. Okay.
Would you
Next, let
guys
me
would
just
you have still bowled with Fakhar batting? I don't think so.
matchups.
They are possible, and they're big on matchups. Sometimes
They're
too big.
too big for their own liking. Let's just, of course, finish up this particular review by looking ahead. I mentioned Pakistan's road ahead. They have New Zealand and England, and they could probably spoil New Zealand's party here, and then England Pakistan would probably just be a really good game of cricket. I hope it'll be a great advertisement for the game. Again, packed house at the Eden, and that is a Saturday game. So, what about Bangladesh? They as well. They travel to Delhi to play Sri Lanka. So another subcontinental derby over there in the capital, and that is on Monday. So they have a break till then, and then they, of course, end proceedings. And let's see if they can spoil Australia's party in Pune on Saturday as well. Quickly, just rounding off the points table, Pakistan going to 6 points, and they have 2 games like we showed you. Can they go to 10 points? Only time will tell. But right now, Bangladesh remain in ninth, which is quite appalling because England, I mean, they will have to kind of play Australia, and who else do they have? I think they have Bangladesh. No, they have Pakistan, like I
Pakistan.
said,
Yeah.
Pakistan as well. Right, gentlemen. I mean, really not much to talk about tonight because I'm normally a chatty guy, but at the end of the day, it's been an absolute romp. We appreciate everyone joining us or who didn't in this particular sad match review on cricket.com. And we'll leave it there, gentlemen. Final words, Gurkirat and Nix, or not really. Let's just make it a 17-minute show and call it an end. Cheers, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Nice knowing you all.